Alright guys, so I hope you're doing fine as always. Today I'm making another video about CoinAnk. I thought I would make an update video about the previous CoinAnk video, as I now have more experience with CoinAnk as well, and the audio on the other video wasn't that optimal. I use a few more tools compared to last video, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. So first of all, we're on CoinAnk. Right here we can select our coin. So I'm now on Bitcoin, on the Binance chart, on the perpetuals. I prefer to use Binance as it usually has the highest volume, but you can also use OKX, Bybit, Bidget, Gate, and so on. So here you can select your coin. You can also go for Ethereum, XRP, any coin you like. Then we have our indicators tab. I have my indicators right here, so I can open it up for you. So the ones I have on are the footprint, the large limit orders, which is the most important one in my opinion, the VPSV, the VPVR. You can also, if you like, have net or fund net inflows. For perpetual spots, you can have your OI, so open interest delta profiles, your TPO, your order book profiles, liquidity heat map. I have a liquidation map on as an indicator. I also have my VWAP there, my liquidation levels, and I also use these net longs and net shorts, which we will get into in a second. So once you have selected the indicators you like, they will be popping up here. You can find it by this arrow. So we can have a quick look through them. First of all, the footprint chart, which I personally don't use that much. If you open it, I have it on ticks 2. And then you can zoom in quite strongly and you can see your footprint chart. So footprint charts is just used to see the asks and the bids within a single candle. You have your point of control. Like I said, I don't use it so much. I only use it to check if we have closed auctions, which means we have zeros at the bottom or zeros at the top. But that's not for this video. If you're interested in footprint charts, there's probably other and better tools around there. But nevertheless, you have this option in CoinAnk. If you want to change it, you can just also change here if you want deltas, if you want them to be volume profiles, if you want them to be other clusters, and so on. So you can just play around with it. Let's reset a little bit. So you can just scroll in, scroll out to zoom, or you can drag, hold and drag, same as the bottom, hold and drag. It's similar to TradingView. So next on we have the liquidation levels, which we also went over last time if I remember correctly. This will show us the liquidation levels based on the different leverage types. So red lines are the liquidation levels for people with a long entry on high leverage. Orange is middle leverage. Yellow is low leverage for longs. Other way around, green is high leverage shorts, blue is mid leverage, purple is low leverage. I prefer to keep this box open so I can instantly see where my levels are. I'm on the 1 hour time frame, for example. Let's zoom in and let's open this up again. So you can instantly see where the levels are, which are in this case quite a lot of low leveraged long positions open, for example. Which is always interesting to see. If prices moves down, for example, in these levels, why it did so. Now we know these are the liquidations of low leverage long positions. We could see here already a lot of low leverage and middle leverage long positions have been liquidated in these moves down. Next on is our large limit order indicator, which for me is the most important indicator here on CoinAnk. It's showing us the trades that have been taking place and the limit orders that are still sitting in the chart. So if we go to the settings over here, feel free to copy this. These are all pretty much on standard. You have to put on the perpetuals, most unlikely. I have my spot limit order set to 5 million. My perpetual and future orders I usually have on 10 million. So 10 million. But as today there were not a lot of big sell orders above 10 million, I did change it to 8 million to have a look if there were smaller asks sitting. So you can just play around with it. If you go, for example, to Ethereum, here you will more than likely have to change them to lower numbers. For Ethereum, I have mine set to 3 million, but feel free to play around with it. And you have to do this for every single coin. So lower cap coins, you want to put in lower numbers, of course. And then these will appear in the chart. So for example, if I change this to 1 million and 1 million, we click save, we give it a moment, you will see a lot more lines will appear. So it will now also show all the bids and the asks above 1 million USDT. So let's change it back to 8 million real quick. So there we go. I like to keep it on a bigger number so my chart is clearer. If we then click this arrow here on the side and we go to large limit orders, we will also see them written down. So we will see all these orders. Right here we can see there's a lot more bid orders sitting than there are asks sitting in the chart. At 95K, for example, we have this $55 million or 585.20 Bitcoin contracts sitting there. You can also see the initial amount of this level was 56.3 million. So we can be quite sure this is one person sitting right here at this level. It's one person sell order and he reduced it by a tiny bit. What we see sometimes here, for example, an initial amount of 1 million and now it's 8 million. It means there's different people sitting with different sell orders on the exact same zone. So now what comes with this is our bid and ask deltas, which we can find right here on the left side. This symbol, the circle and the ruler, large limit order statistics. We select it and then we have to click arrange. So we're now sitting around 84K. So let's take, for example, a 2K range, 86 to 82-ish. And now we get this data of the range. So we have a buy turnover, sell turnover, a delta. We have the bids turnover, the ask turnover, and the bid ask delta, which is the most important thing for us to look at. More specifically, the Binance perpetual one. So here we see in the bid ask delta, we have a positive 109 million bid ask delta, which means in this range of 86 to 82K on Bitcoin, we have 109.32 million USDT more in bids than in asks. So there's more limit orders that want to buy than there are limit orders that want to sell. Meaning that the interest in the market is still to the downside within this range. In general sense, it gives us an idea of where the market might be heading or where the zones of interest are, to the upside or to the downside. The guys that are in the Discord server, they will know more about this. We check this weekly, we discuss this weekly, and we have a look at what can be the possible moves based on this order book. So rule of thumb is the heavier it's leaning to one side, the more interest there is to that side. So sometimes you see this delta being 400 million, 300 million, which is a strong indication that prices might go to the side of this number. We'll say we have a positive 400 million. It's very likely, let's take an arrow, say plus 400 million, it's very likely prices will come down to fill these bids to then have some type of reversal. If we have, for example, a negative 400 million or 300 whatsoever, prices are more likely to go up to fill these orders to then go down. It's a common misconception, but please keep this in mind. A market going down means buyers are in control. A market going up means sellers are in control. Usually you will see when prices is dumping, a lot of people saying, oh, everyone is selling, there's panic selling, which is also true. Panic sell can cause some prices down. But keep in mind, the market is a zero-sum game. So whenever someone is selling, someone needs to be buying. So when prices are going down, buyers can buy at cheaper levels, meaning the buyers are in control. They determine where they can buy or when to buy. And the panic sellers are just selling in market orders into these limits that are sitting there. So the buyers have the control of where they want to buy. Other way around, when prices are going up, it's people wanting to buy, but the sellers are in control. They determine where they're selling at. I hope that's clear. Please keep that in mind. It's a common misconception and it's very important to understand. If you need more information about these limit orders and the deltas, please let me know in the comments or in the Discord server. We might make a separate video about it, or we can discuss it more on the live streams on Friday. Furthermore, I also have my anchored VWAP. I personally don't really use the VWAP that much, but it's always nice to have. We have the VP VR, it's the volume profiles for the range. So this changes based on how far I zoom out. So just on my range that I show here on the chart, the red line is our point of control. To be honest, the VP VR is not that important. It's better to use the VP SV. It's our volume profiles, but session-based. So they're based on the different trading sessions. They show us the deltas, the totals, point of control, and so on. Value area high, value area low. The white box here is our point of control for this specific trading session. There's quite a lot of people that use the volume profiles for the session, so can always find it here on CoinAnk as well. Then we have the liquidation maps. So if I open the settings there as well, you can see what this means. So this is pretty similar to the liquidation levels, but this shows us more or less where the highest volume is sitting of liquidation. So orange line high leverage, green lines medium leverage, blue line low leverage. Keep in mind, markets prefer to liquidate low leverage instead of high leverage. Low leverage, the blue ones, is where the money is at. High leverage liquidations, they don't earn that much money on them, as it's too much borrowed money, while with low leverage liquidations, there's a lot of margin in the trades, so a lot of liquidity to grab. So that's why I prefer to look for green and blue lines. You can use this in combination with the liquidation levels right here to see if they correlate or not. Now, finally, promised, I also use this net long and net short indicators. So if I put on the net long, for example, it will open this secondary chart right here. Here we can see the net long positions, which means or pretty much shows us if people are opening longs or not. You can see in this move down, the longs were kind of going down as well. Here, people are slowly opening more long positions. You can tell we can drag it a bit here. This AI intelligence is new, it's kind of in the way here, but I don't think I can move it. Yeah. I don't use this, I'm not a big fan of AI analysis. I prefer to do my own TA. But anyway, net longs, you can see long positions are being closed. Right now, they're starting to slowly open a bit more long positions. If we go to the net short, this will be the other way around. Here we can see a lot of shorts has been opened. Also on this point, it means if we take a range, so there's people opening shorts still in these levels. Here they're kind of slowing down a bit, but there's people opening longs here. So opening longs at a potential bottom, which can easily mean that markets will try and liquidate these people before potentially going back down or continue their way up. We don't know. It's Friday evening, so we're standing right in front of the weekend as well. So we have to wait and see what will happen during the weekend. But it's a very news-driven market, so please keep that in mind. One tweet can change the entire market currently, so please be careful in your trading. So that's the net longs and net shorts. That's pretty much all the indicators that I personally use on CoinAnk. You can have a quick look what else is there. You have the CoinAnk indicators themselves. You have CVD, which some people also like to use. Delta bars, aggregation CVDs. You can just scroll through and play with it for a bit. It's all up to you. You have also the classic indicators, volume, MACD, EMAs, Bollinger Bands, and so on. What else is there? You can change to dark and light mode over here. You can put your language or change your language into these languages if needed. Right here you have all your drawing tools, your ranges, and so on. Measurement tool that we used for the deltas, fibs, long positions, drawing tools, and so on. So maybe one last thing right here. What you can occasionally do is look at the bids and the asks. I only recommend this for Bitcoin, maybe also Ethereum, but definitely not shitcoins. But have buy orders sitting at the big bids and have the sell orders line up with your big ask limit orders. It's up to you. I personally do this occasionally, but I also look on TradingView if it makes sense with my vector candles and so on. But we discussed this in the live sessions on Friday. So if there are any more questions about this, please feel free to ask and we can have a further discussion on this during the live sessions. So that's pretty much everything that I use currently on CoinAnk. Again, most importantly for me is the large order ones and the deltas we have right here. So, as always, if there are any more questions, please feel free to ask them in the comment sections or on the Discord server. and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. See ya. Bye bye.